They always do say, yeah, it really and how they I went to the Team Brain, just to do a summary of everything. What you're with Wendy, they take your spreadsheet so that you do something with your student. We just one-on-one, and you take they were doing it. No, but I'm stealing it. It's amazing. It doesn't mail merge, transfers it to the Apple email. Here, I'll put it.
I'll be here. Okay, I'll wait.
So they just went on it
But it works really well. Come more with us.
Yeah. Oh, no. No, I'm gonna do it. I would be happy to share all of my learning. Oh, okay. Perfect. But I plan to yeah, it was really yeah. It was what I loved most about it were my teachers. It was small changes. Yeah, I still started to go overseas. Smarter district in the high school math department chair. I was asked if there's anything taking another place, you know, it's a lot of these sort of things. I miss the kid. Well, miss the kid. I'm not sure secretary for this job. I knew, you knew, he knew, you knew. I know.
Super duper, like, that's what what do you want to do? I had
almost did. Thank you. Yeah, bring your email
Right.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
I was like, I said,
There's a pretty sizable group, so as quickly as we can, if we can all go around the room and say who we are, what we do with children, and our spirit animal, and then like the minimal amount of spirit animal commentary that's still funny will go. So I'm May, and I do the thing I told you I was going to do, and my spirit animal is a banana slug. I leave it to the room to get all the way around as quickly as possible.
We're all thinking of our spirit.
Yeah.
Dave Baruti, I work with middle school students at Germantown Academy. My spirit animal is a nylon cat.
Bethany
We got two
Silva,
people.
I work with middle school students at Shipley School, and my spirit animal is actually a sixth grader who has sparkly UGG boots that I wish I could have.
Wendy, I was our educational technology at Shipley, and if we want to keep going, we'll just move on with that spirit animal.
Boo.
I know. If you want me to go next, then I don't have one ready.
Mike Franklin, teach students science and STEM at Arthur. Hit it about a mile down the road from here. My spirit animal is the buffalo platypus.
Brian Johnson, I'm the principal of the Philadelphia Middle School, and my spirit animal is an ape.
Felicia, I teach at Meredith Middle School, 7th grade literacy, and my spirit animal, never thought about it, maybe a koala bear.
Roseanne,
They're cute, right?
I'm Roseanne Liberty, middle school science and math at Abington Friends School. Spirit animal would be cicada.
Chris Morado, AP of a bilingual middle school in Washington, D.C., and my spirit animal is like those monkeys that hide in the trees.
My name's Gary Height. I'm 9th and 10th grade high school English, but middle school teacher at heart for 20 years. My spirit animal is an elephant.
I'm Alan Kirkdorfer, and I'm a middle school principal in a small city in Virginia, and also know.
Marcy Hatfield, principal at Cedar Brook Middle School in Cheltenham.
Ray O'Brien, math teacher at Cedar Brook Middle School in Cheltenham.
Oh, doesn't me. Joe Conroy, 15 years LA. This year I teach computers in middle school. My spirit animal is a water bear. It isn't what you think it is, so Google it.
Now we're in progress. Right, Steve Animals. No way to top that. I'm Steve Van. I teach 7th grade history in Northfield, Standby Lake City. I think my spirit animal is my dog buddy. Just lays around all day and sleeps. That's the best place.
Angela Chan, 3rd grade, Tiger Elementary School in South Philadelphia. And my spirit animal is the snowy owl.
Marissa Dolan, 5th grade computers in Conroe Middle School in Robbinsville, and my spirit animal is a fish.
Carl Ackerman, I'm a teacher at Constitution High School. My wife actually administered this test, and I was an elephant because I'm slow to start, but once I get going, you can't stop.
I'm Allison Hall. I teach middle school and high school STEM in Phoenix, Arizona. And my spirit animal would be some type of bird. I haven't thought about this, but I know what type of bird. Helen Wonghouse. I'm a student here in Philadelphia, 7th and 10th grade math and chemistry. My spirit animal would be a grizzly bear.
I'm Swetha, and I'm a student teacher here at SLA, and my spirit animal is probably a tiger.
Deb Spiegel, I'm from the Miami Valley School in Dayton, Ohio, and my teaching background is in math, and spirit animal is puma.
My name's Jeff.
Oh, go ahead.
Jeff Tomasic, middle school principal in Ithaca, New York. Spirit animal, Howard monkey.
Principal Howard would be okay.
I'm Lisa McMullen. I'm a middle school math teacher in Naples, New York, and my spirit animal is a Chesapeake Bay Retriever.
Oh.
I'm Sherry Alexander Ritchie. I'm a school board member in Zionsville, Indiana. Central School Corporation. I don't know what the concept of spirit animal is, showing that I'm a board member and not a teacher. I would say my superintendent if it's spirit animal, but I decided that was not respectful. Or red tail hawk.
My name is Eric Graham. I'm an 8th grade science teacher at Zionsville Middle School. I'm gonna go with a penguin.
This is Sean County, I'm principal of Zionsville Middle School, and I'd say my spirit animal is a hammerhead shark.
I'm Jane Burgess, and I'm a school board member also at Zionsville Community Schools. And I would say my spirit animal is probably a tiger, since my kids lovingly call me Asian Tiger Mom.
Chris Deborah, I'm Director of Academic Services in Zionsville, Indiana as well, and I would say penguin too.
My name is Keith Williams. I'm the Executive Director of a middle school character and environmental education program. And my spirit animal is a shad.
Rick Garber, I'm Director of Education of the same middle school environmental and character education program. And spirit animal bonefish.
Mindy Martinez, 6th grade at Arlington, Oxnard, California. And my spirit animal is
Jay Sorensen, teacher on special assignment for technology in California.
My name is Alexander. I don't really have a good description. My spirit animal is a dragon.
Mike Ballmer, Technology Director from Oxnard, California, and my spirit animal would be a mountain goat.
Augustine Garcia, technology teacher at Rio Vista Middle School, and my spirit animal is a Chinese fox tortoise.
I'm John Downs, Parent Institute at the University of Vermont, work with middle schools around the state, and my spirit animal is a mountain goat.
Tanisha Beiju, 7th and 8th history here at Mastery Charter School in Philly, and my spirit animal is my pug, Kalani Turner.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dan Eberly. I teach 6th grade humanities in 5th grade social emotional learning at Berwick Academy in Maine. My spirit animal, my black lab, Ruby, because I'm really friendly and I say yes to everything.
I'm Chris Sauke. I'm an elementary principal at Naples Elementary School in New York.
And my spirit animal is also my dog, who's a golden retriever.
Matt Frame, I'm a school superintendent in the Maple Center School District in New York, and I just got a text from a colleague who's in the room saying, I can't wait to hear what your spirit animal is. I think I'll say jackass or something. I'll say black lamb.
We can, did we do the people in the back? Okay.
I'm Kim Crow, I'm 7th grade language arts, and my spirit animal is an alligator.
I'm Ron, I teach middle school in Colorado Springs.
I'm Terry Inlows. I'm 30 years as a middle school teacher in Colorado Springs, and I think middle schooler is not.
Okay. I'm Sadie. I'm a student here at SLA, and my spirit animal is I'm Zahira. I'm also a student here at SLA, and my spirit animal is pufferfish.
And if we could briefly applaud our students.
My name is Aaron Gerber. I'm the co-principal here at SLA. You know, my spirit animal is an elephant. Has anybody heard the zombie album, Spirit Animal? Google it, it's decent.
My name is Dave Quinn. I'm a doc student at the University of Rhode Island, former middle school history teacher and current school board member in Attleboro, Massachusetts. My spirit animal is a dire wolf.
My name is Paul Skilton Sylvester, and I am the founder, CEO, and janitor of an internet startup called HelloMundo.net, and my spirit animal is an ant.
My name is Charlotte Savard. I am a 4th grade teacher in a French school board in Ottawa, Canada, and my spirit animal is a
Anybody else?
My name is Rosa Muchnick. I'm currently a trainer for Microsoft for teachers, but previously I was a science and research teacher at STEM schools down in Savannah, Georgia, and my spirit animal is Robert De Niro.
I'm Sean Quenzer. I teach at Cheltenham School District Middle School Math. I go with Unicorn, my daughter's favorite.
Thank you for indulging that. Also, yeah, so it's pretty humbling that all of you want to come here and talk about this. So thank you so much for coming here and wanting to talk about this. So we're making a middle school. This is year 10 of SLA Center City. This is year 3 of SLA Beaver, and next year will be year 1 of SLA Middle School. And this comes out of a need to spread inquiry-driven, project-based technology-infused education down to the middle school level, and also we're going to make this a neighborhood school. So we'll no longer be using the academic magnet program. The requirements to go to the school will be into the grade, which I am really, really excited to be part of. So I wanted to have us all talk kind of generally about middle schools and where they fail and what their promises are, and how you think this model and the middle school model intersects, and what that Venn diagram looks like. So to start, this is a quote that kind of stuck in my head over the summertime, and I'd like all of us to kind of wrestle with this at our tables. So if we could do a quick write about it, and then share with your table mates, and then we'll expand the conversation. But so about middle school. At no other stage in the life cycle are the promises of finding oneself and the threat of losing oneself so closely aligned. And if you could just respond however it feels right to respond to that, I guess under the scope of middle school. I'll bring us all back together in a few minutes, and then we can share a table and we'll out.
I'd rather talk about it.
Oh, and to totally be like the middle school cop archetype, like shh, like Right quietly, because even if you want to talk, I know we will, I'll make time for that. But for the people who want to like quietly process this, please give them the next 90 seconds to do that. Thanks. And if you could bring your writing thoughts to a close and transition to sharing what feels comfortable to share with the people at your table. And I encourage everyone to talk to someone that they haven't yet met today about this. And then in 2 minutes, we'll share out so everyone can hear everything.
Jersey.
We're making all these choices that they're really seeking guidance, especially like a couple of like years. Because we will continue to become direction their lives. So I feel like Philadelphia is they're making choices crazy. There's a lot of choices. Most middle schools I got up to elementary schools and providing counseling. Still they're ending up in school.
These kind of tactics. And I realized
Your 11th grade year for everybody else. Philadelphia. No, I started teaching middle school. So
came right in, sat down. I'm going to see our work here. You wouldn't listen yesterday afternoon. Then you were you didn't have gym. You had music. And if you had music, you wouldn't get hit in the head. I said, what are you doing? I haven't seen you in a while, so what's that say? To have them come in, pop that on the I said, come on, right? Because he was deep tuning, but he needed to be quiet. Now he's coming. Just to say, hey, what's up? So you got a haircut? No. We get right the elevator. And through this time, our school is 4 floors, right? If he'd have had that elevator, always working on the elevator. But he was real good about like, no, I can only use it. Mr. Johnson gave it to me. Because I'm actually injured. But right on. So it was like,
I feel like piggybacking on that, most of the worst time in the majority of people's lives. Somebody has and put me on the shelf. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's like, that's a horrible thing to think about. Like, in junior high, it's a place where you, like, people fight for you.
And it's pathetic. Like, you have also high school seniors, and so middle school just seems so critical. Like, it seems like it could make or break. I don't think that's what I think I walk around our 6 to 8 minute classrooms, like back is feeling like a little bit more, like this. And everything kind of comes down to a lot of issues, like how we want kids, how they have the skills and looking to see. And then like a conversation that I had this morning in the grade. So I sort of like, how is it really challenging, they're crazy.
All true sometimes.
And I don't disagree, but I also think that like the narrative and I'm only trying to get the date that's the right dance too. Like for sure you guys
True sometimes. No, I mean I agree.
super abstract thinker. Not my son. There are many who starting who is You've done all this stuff. Get that, I have 5. I mean, they all got you have to be such a right? You know that you say to your son, who's doing so well, you tell them about the dentist appointment 17 times, and then they're like, going to the dentist. People are going to the dentist next week, going to the dentist next week again. These are fascinating. Well, and the boys and now that to me, I didn't write last
Really dramatic times, I do feel like it's easy to, it really is easy to say, like, everyone going through middle school because of physical changes, whether the lack of physical changes, I still think produces a time where, like, there's a lot of insecurity, even if you're in the pocket of the one, there's still like, that, like, insecurities, and yes, of course, there's still experiences and there's still that, but I do feel like most of the special, I feel like it's special bags, like, I feel like there's nobody who, I just think that nobody who has an easy middle school. I've never met one, and I've been here for 13 years.
So I have I think that's what makes when you have a boy like this.
First follower. Adults. Way to go, adults. So before we share out, if you could write down a word or a phrase that stuck out from the conversation you just had, I'll give everyone like 30 seconds to do that. And then we can open up what we talked about to the group. I'm always guilty of this, so I like to put this norm out there, is that we speak in sentences and not paragraphs, because our time is finite. So yeah, word or phrase that stuck out from the conversation you just had, and kind of tee up the whole conversation. Oh, my dad's watching. Everyone, hi, Mr. And dare I try this in a big group? Let's Quaker share, and as it moves you, talk about what you wrote down or what you want to share about your conversation.
So we spent a lot of time talking about the 7th grade year being so important in Philadelphia and how kids outside of high schools, the 7th grade essentially in Philadelphia determines whether or not you have an opportunity to even apply to college. If you want to have a comprehensive high school, statistics say you're less than 50% of those students graduate high school. So you're so close to either finding yourself and getting on this great track and winding up at a magnet school like SLA, or likely to drop out of a comprehensive high school.
We talked about the transition, and Jeff had a great anecdote about, middle school student having a very adult-like conversation, and then quickly playing with Matchbox cars, and how there's that shift from elementary to adulthood in vastly different years.
Kind of going along with that, we talked about the energy that comes in that. Middle school students have a ton of energy, and making sure to harness that and not squash it. So when they get to high school, if that energy is promoted and they know how to use it,
Instead of having students who say, well, how many paragraphs, how long, what do you want? So that energy really like boosting that.
And they have not designed the lid yet, actually.
And structuring that energy. You don't want 9th graders acting like 6th graders, but keeping.
Yes, yeah.
Technology, pathways to success or problems on Snapchat.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's like what, 2nd grade to college now, but yeah, very much.
To stick with your animal theme, I think the word we probably all wrote down, cat, the transition from maybe a dog to a cat.
We'll let that marinate for a second, and then, okay.
In the quote, it says the promise, and I think it's key that we keep that promise to kids, that we're gonna help them find themselves without losing themselves by honoring what they bring, what they already know.
And I think along those lines, especially like in Philly, because the pressure in middle school is so much, like honoring that like the anxiety that kids have in middle school about the rest of their lives basically aren't real, and like finding balance between that and the energy and like respecting those communities.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about, like, there were a few things, but like one that resonated with me was this idea of like advocacy and the great need for advocacy during those years. We all sort of just agreed that, you know, during those middle school years, everybody's in sort of a volatile state of like where they're going to go, where they're going to head, and that's in the quote, but the need for, where we're just in Chris Lehman's talk about those middle years are so pivotal in having people care, like, and care for them and advocate, especially in Philadelphia, but advocate for them as human beings.
Yeah, students are literally under like biological terrorist attack from their own bodies. And to like acknowledge that's going on. Which is, yeah, that's part of like a narrative, like you were saying before, is that like we can be really doomy and gloomy about what it's like to be 12. But then if that's all we talk about, that's obviously what we get. I think that's like how thought that I just stole. Add on to it so you can take some more credit, sorry.
That was it. That's a good one.
Others? I have other stuff to talk about too. But... All right, so this is some guiding principles from 1918 about middle schools. And they are like what should be going on in middle school. You can be talking about health, about command of fundamental processes, and you can take that how you want to take that. Worthy home membership, vocations, citizenship, worthy use of leisure time, and ethical character. So almost 100 years ago, some people came up with this framework. And I'd love for you to talk in your groups now about if any of this is still applicable, and maybe what's different 100 years later. And if anyone wants to define some of the fundamental processes, do that as well. Go.
It's purposely vague. Only is I was looking that up too. I'm not exactly. That's what how big. Yeah, I was on the same website though. It's kind of unclear.
There's now students who's in that neighborhood who goes to that school gets to do this. Still that have to apply.
Two high
We eventually probably become like a mastermind, like a game where they just kind of like filter into the high school. Like, I mean, like, Well, that was unclear because it was only history off that
Until the
paper.
last couple of years. Location was like
Where is it?
those are the kids.
They're gonna put it right where
Either
university.
life flight, specialized for that.
It's right by, it's on 38.
Right, you gotta learn to go, you know, I think I'm coming from a little
Job? In Presbyterian? Yeah, it's a cool spot.
So I run some of those things. A lot of those kids, because they had to have the skill, but they think they were still fighting against that. Right. Right.
All of those things are intrinsic to this page, and most of your how we approach it and all of that.
Like now, I feel like there's not a lot of, I mean, first of all, there is, I don't know about you. We don't talk about house locations, we have like a career day, but it's like, I feel like the most hard guidance instruction is towards college preparatory behavior. And that's like the one that's
Are like so.
What do you need? That's what do you consider the fundamental standards of your ability to live or exist? It's like conflict resolution. I put it on teacher Citizenship scary. I mean, this is also too like history, whatever you would call it. And then we had to change our listening to block scheduling. We finally broke it down into like 45-minute blocks of time every day. How to get science, study, math, and reading. Whereas before what was happening, we actually scheduled it out that day. This requires they have to how do we study science? We had kids coming back that were like, I'm all good with reading and math, but like my world history class is hard. My science really is. So I don't know if that's valuable. I'll be like continue to like schedule classes. I don't know
The big distinguishment between kids and success is like their ability to manage one executive function
whoever they got. That's what's so important. I think that's some teachers did that, like, or try to like, when I was studying, it's when I was also, I think that that's important that I don't have a very relaxed.
But we also don't have all the time. Like, I mean, like, we.
Thank you so much. So I feel like at this point, we have some kind of meat to hang on this and to hang on the quote before. So I'd love to shift into a conversation about how middle schools are supporting the things that we think middle school students need support on, and what structures we would like to see, because we know that there are middle school needs that are not being addressed. And if every group could kind of get a bullet point or a top 5 about structures that address these issues, or structures you'd like to see to address these issues, and then I will compendium them up and share that.
Specifically structure?
Yes.
I'm not talking to anyone.
There's usually what one counselor for like just to make more time. You think you're gonna help. Eating the information. Then someone said, no, it's required. It's like a natural state. Actually, that's not right. Yes. I actually, that 90 block.
So I mean, that almost makes every state is structured.
Some of them break. Where are you?
Actually, no. Relatively broad. More about skills. And so it was not college and career across the world, but they need something. They need both. You know, if you're on the people responsibility for it, but I'm also going to reality that you're not all. And so I really read something that's going to change the heck out of my time. I want them to have a full exposure to everything. With the idea that, you know, I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm gonna talk about my yes.
You have the sliding one? There it is.
What are the structures that you have in
Because no, somebody down the line that might be the case. So, time meetings where all the eighth grade officers talk about whatever it is, or feedback from students. We do a conversation so that there's at least a surface like recall what we're talking about, to engage, we engage with every part of the school. It's about extension of having we're on a lot of
You have a better chance.
So we have
I have no chance.
behavior health.
Actually, if you really, well, that's a whole different issue. If you wanted to, you could. Quite a bit of it. How do you evidence? This is your new social studies aside what you have to do. Stop me from telling you mental trafficking around. You guys do.
We have one clearly. That's what we had a redesign process. And we're that was the beginning.
I told you, Have you guys got any plans for that yet?
Yeah, so
Yeah, I guess it is. So what kind of technology do you guys have right
now? We have smart. So now,
I think just in general having collaboration
while you continue to prepare the MacBooks until they're absolutely obsolete, they're not functional. You're not going to. When you say how many? And I bought another set just to get it to and some of the teachers similar to what we saw on the very first slide. Now going on. Yes, nuts. It's so beautiful. So you move everyone to 2016. So that's how I understand. And go back to some of the
ready to share? Raise your hand.
I love it. I love it. We're supposed to go into it.
I think we're not gonna share. Okay, I would like us to share. So this is the part where we all get to see how smart everyone in the room is. So let's throw up a bunch of structures and then let's trouble what we say. So who has a structure that they either know works in their school or they would like to see in their school that would support middle school?
Recess.
I will take this on.
I think the list is.
So you can have
There we go. We're gonna trouble after the list. But yeah, trouble that as soon as we have some more lists.
Conflict resolution?
Student leadership.
Student mentorship. The raising hand, sorry.
Teams with autonomous schedules.
Autonomous, really? Autonomous.
Yep.
You're just missing an O.
Control click.
Spelling. No.
Teaching teams just in itself. Interdisciplinary.
An organizational goal, like common goals.
It's kind of two. Physical space for collaboration and also a curriculum that supports structured collaboration.
Synchronous and asynchronous learning opportunities.
I don't know if we said if it works or not, but advisory programs, we talked about the different types and forms of advisory and advisory programs and what that was like.
After school programming.
So I think some things to think about as we trouble this are how easy are these things to do? How much do they cost? And like nouns and verbs, like who are the people who do these things? So let's go to page 1 and kind of pick these things apart a bit. Or argue to get them kicked off the list.
This may be an addition to the list, but specialized training for working in middle schools with young adolescents. I think any of these things are a heavy lift without understanding the bigger picture, context, strategies.
I'm going to be a little bit of an arguer. I actually kind of disagree with after-school programming. Not that it shouldn't exist, but I think it should be available in school for those that can't stay after if they don't have those opportunities. The most recent school I taught at was a STEM school, and we had 1 day a week, we had a set aside 2-hour block for clubs in school. Each teacher or pair of teachers could pick whatever subject they want, and the kids could go to it, and that way they could explore their interests but they didn't have to be isolated by socioeconomic factors or transportation or anything else.
So when we say after school, we mean both.
I would just call it extracurricular.
Yeah, so there's two components to that, right? Like we need things for kids to do to be connected to each other outside of the school day, and we also need a curriculum that is not core or traditional extracurricular within the school day.
To give opportunities to everybody.
Oh, yeah, another thing to trouble is how the efficacy of these. Like, are these things that rise all boats, or are these things that advantage certain children over others?
Just thinking about the benefits and perils of resiliency education, in terms of resiliency to power versus resiliency. Just thinking about growth mindset, where man, you have a growth mindset, we won't try to meet your needs. You've just got to be resilient and trouble through what I want you to do, versus being resilient to meet my own goals even when I get stuck.
Mm-hmm. Like where the locus of control lies in that.
I don't know if I'm saying this right, but I feel like we need to add it. But there's devotion to all subject areas, like equal devotion to all subject areas.
Like something like whole child education.
Well, I was thinking along like more practical application of like, you know, in the school like Philadelphia, like reading and math is all anyone cares about. So like, you know, scheduling according to like giving, and that would be obviously having an emphasis on like cross-curricular education as well.
That kind of, okay.
For the equal importance of subject, that you know, that's really difficult thing to do when there's state testing for certain subjects. So I think like an earlier comment had been interdisciplinary learning. So like for that interdisciplinary, I think in that space you can put maybe equal time. And as a history teacher, I have reading and writing components. And so I think not only having content-specific meetings in PD times, but also having just like humanities or like all STEM work together and have more conversations would allow for the space of my content to be infused into other content areas.
And that's something I hope everyone who's gathered here this week has seen at SLA, is that having grade-wide essential questions and themes is a really powerful way to do that kind of work. And that if we use different subjects as lenses of answering those questions, as opposed to subject matter onto themselves, that's a huge win for lowering the bar for kids to understand what's going on in school.
Kind of along with that, I think something that's a really great way to link everything and create a narrative is story-based curriculum.
Can you say more about what
So basically, like,
story-based
for example, it's a narrative, it's a story, but it is spread over, like, let's say it's in middle school. It's a story that would start in 6th grade and it would conclude at the end of 8th grade, and it would bring in specifically topics that you cover every year, and it would relate them, and there's a problem to solve by the end of each grade level that leads you to the next year, where there's another problem to solve that deals with those standards and those subjects, and it continues until you basically leave the school, and that concludes the story. I don't know if that's a good enough
potential
explanation.
for appendices.
Right, but like, for example, the school I taught at, we did it, and it had to do with, we had to leave the planet and find a new one, and we found Planet Nevermore, which is a habitable planet. So 6th grade, since it had to do with, with the themes VLA, et cetera, had to do with testing the planet, seeing if it was habitable for Earth, like what, you know, all that stuff. 7th grade was trying to figure out what's needed for life, to sustain life there. You know, what does life require? 8th grade had to do with actually creating the mechanisms to get there. How do you build on a planet that has different gravity, stuff like that. So it's one of those things that links throughout the grades, and there's a different overarching question for each year that also deals with the themes within their standards specifically.
So if these are ideas of worth, are these ideas in all schools now?
Yeah.
If they aren't, what are some obstacles to creating these things?
We were discussing the difficulty of school preparation. So the 7-12 school, where the 7-8s feel like they have to abide by high school design and expectations. And similarly, the K-6, where the 5-6s struggle to serve young adolescents in an elementary context, which goes back to the argument for true middle schools.
Will, often anything outside the usual school day runs into problems with bus schedules. By this being a neighborhood school, will students still travel by bus?
Hopefully. I haven't figured that problem out yet, but what's most likely is going to Transfast. So they'll use the city bus service to get around.
So one thing that I've heard at an independent school, there was an activities bus which ran later in the day for anyone doing activities. I thought that was a good workaround.
So those can't be the only obstacles to doing good work, because I think we can agree that the state middle schools generally in the United States is not strong. So what else are we up against? Yeah. Like how much? What should these things cost money? Brian, is the asynchronous learning free at Tilden?
No, I mean, it's for students and for staff, right? And there's a cost to that, depending on how you go about doing it, right? If you're doing it through blended learning, which is what we're doing, then there's a cost in terms of the technology, and then time, right? And there's a cost in terms of the effort that you put into it, just across the board.
I think this is an issue that you kind of avoided with, an SLA middle feeding into an SLA high, but the ideas of the middle school educators versus the ideas of the high school, and do they share the same educational philosophies and ideas, even if they do the same missions.
So a fittedness between kind of the grade breaks.
Yep, and the collaboration between the two levels.
I think with the conflict resolution, like that is totally free, it's just tons of time. At high school, we have effective questioning and teachers like teach the students, and then students facilitate their own restorative circles to get through the issues that they have with one another. However, that takes classroom time. Like if things break down, you like stop the class, you have a restorative circle, and then that becomes the issue that you're up against. And I was also thinking with time, just like the amount of project-based design that a teacher would be doing over the summer with their teaching groups or over the weekend. And then it's like, we need to have a circle in the middle of my class. Like I would smile, but inside it's like, oh my God, I'm going to kill you. Like this just took like hours, like days to do. So that kind of like struggle internally of like, what is the most important and for middle school students and where they're growing, but also the content that they need to work with and digest.
And let's name that fear, right? Is that I think we've come to a conclusion that middle schoolers need more than the content, but we are definitely afraid of providing anything that cuts into content time, for lack of
sometimes teaming, like the advantage of teaming is conversations about groups of kids that come up together and you look at a situation from 7 to 8 and you think to yourself sometimes, why was that group of kids allowed to stay together? Like they should have been moved, and that's the benefit. Same thing with an advisory. It's like,
The structure. You, middle schoolers, I understand. Having spaces is a regular classroom, right? And this work that's not how it's been done in virtue of the parents. So why they can change it? That's, you know, shitty eyes. Just sometimes personally.